Hello, this is JilliBling. How are you today? I have a project which is a lot of fun. It uses watercolor paper, aqua painter, re-inkers, and I got lost in the coloring. So I tried to make a few of them a little bit easier because, like I said, I did a bit too much coloring. So this is watercolor paper, black embossing powder. This is the one I tried to make easier, where I just put this on the inside, and that's heat embossed too. Then there's this one. I kind of wish I took this bouquet and moved it up a little higher. If I had to do it again, I would do that. Aren't these adorable? Can you see the little holly leaves? Yeah, I got crazy, but it was fun. And then the word cheer. And this time I put a little bit of balmy blue back behind the bouquet to make it stand out a little more. Then of course I had to do it on the inside. This one took way too long, but it looks good. So, words of cheer, and this is a bundle. It comes with Christmas cheer dies, and that's what makes the word cheer. And see how there's two different layers to it? And it makes the word happy. Here I did only one layer. And here is happy with the 2 layers. Then a little bit of bling on all of them. Rhinestone, rhinestone, and then I had some older bling, and I just put that on. So whatever you have is good. I think on today's project, let's use blue adhesive back gems. Those will look good. And everything is done in Versamark. Okay, so here are the pieces. So this is going to be for my re-inkers. These are going to be for the cutouts. So let me show you what we got going there. We'll use an aqua painter. Use your embossing buddy. And might be able to use that. Is that cute? So 1, 2, 3. There's one more die. The flower is 2-part. Then there's the leaves and this little metallic sprig. That's right here. And then this is the word happy. This word happy comes from this. So you could kind of layer it on top. And then this is cheer. There's more dies in the set, but these are just the ones we're going to use. You know, I was thinking, if you use this, these fit right on top, but if you did just the words cheers, you could have it go landscape or portrait. Where if you use both of them together, you need to have it go more portrait. Okay, so there's those, but these here we'll use, actually we'll use quite a bit of stuff. So this is for the words in black with white embossed powder right here. Happy Holidays. Here's the word Christmas. So set that aside. But to make the flowers, like I said, there's 2 different parts. There's this bigger one, and there's this one. This is for 3 sprigs. You're like, that won't fit on the paper, but it will. The paper is 1 inch. And then this is the adorable holly. I think my favorite of all time. So cute. And that could go on this shaded spruce paper. Okay, so I've got those done. And we'll assemble them in just a minute. And here's the holly. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. Oh, and you know, I was playing around, trying to figure out what combo I like. There's happy with the black behind it, and then here's happy with green, and then the black letters on top. That's kind of reversed too, just different colors. I'm not sure what is best. They all look good. Okay, this one, the flowers are done in Melon Mambo, so we won't use that. So when you're watercoloring, I have a couple extra bits of watercolor paper, and I have those in the project box, but you could give it a try just to test out watercoloring. When I was doing this one, the first flower, I just did it solid, rich raspberry, and I thought, well, I think I could do better than that. So then I did this one in a little bit watered down, a little bit stronger, and a little bit stronger, so layers of color. Turned out pretty good. Then here I started figuring out how to blend with them, and that took a little bit more work, and it wasn't consistently beautiful like that. And then this, I didn't have the paper wet enough. So the reason I say all that is you could test it out on here, but the project we're doing today, I'm going to do it just straight up solid color, just because that's consistent and I know I could achieve it over and over. I ended up doing that on the leaves. Well, here's a little bit of shading going on. Okay, so this thick paper is watercolor paper. This is for the inside. This is regular basic white. And a black layer and the base paper. So these will go inside. So let's start with the watercolor paper. And I'll do Embossing Buddy. And you know, the embossing powder, for some reason, it just seems a little bit more granule than before. But it makes, once you heat it, it's beautiful. But I've been running into a little bit of a problem. I'll show you why, but I have a fix for it. So this, and I thought maybe I just need my my Versamark pad to be a little bit more, I put more ink on it, thinking maybe that would hold more of the powder. I still have the problem, but it needed to be re-inked. Okay, so when I pick this up, if my watercolor paper sticks to the stamp, that's going to be a good thing, because then I can make sure I have good contact with the polymer stamp and the watercolor paper. So, you know how I did the embossing buddy, and this one it turned out pretty good. But all of the other projects, I was just having black powder everywhere, even before I cooked it, even with using the embossing buddy. And another thing is, right now it seems like the embossing powder is real grainy. I kind of wish it was a little bit more fine so that the Versamark stamp image, it would hold on to the powder. But it turns out good. So I'm going to get my heat tool, and usually I would heat it from the top down, but I was finding powder everywhere, and that has to do with how granule it is. So if you heat from the underside, you'll heat up the paper and it will heat the embossing powder, but it won't have the blow dryer action of blowing the powder off to the side. So I'm going to do that. One thing to be careful of, though, is don't stay in one place too long. So you can move it just maybe a little bit quicker than you normally would. Let me see. I'll show you. Okay, how's that look? That looks good. So I stay about an inch away, and usually I just wait until I could see the powder has melted. But here I kept moving slowly, only because on one of my, not the watercolor paper, but the inside paper, from doing it from the underside, I got a little brown spot. And that's because I stayed there too long and it burned. So I think if you're aware that might be a problem, you'll be good. Okay, so now I want to watercolor. I have a piece of window sheet right here, and I want to watercolor this. So this project, I'm going to use shaded spruce and real red. And you need very little. So I'm going to put just one drip on here. And you know how I like to keep them alphabetical? R and S. And that's because when you look at the drips, can you tell what color is what? I sure can't. But if I remember that they're alphabetical, or if I leave these bottles right here, I know. But let me find, when I was making all the samples, I had a mess, but it worked out just fine. Just a tip. Okay, so now for the watercoloring. I have one started. Right here. See all that powder? That's when I was blow drying it from the top. But I think we got that fixed. Okay, so on some of the projects I tried to do a bit of shading, and then this one I decided I'm just going to do it straight red, real red, straight shaded spruce. And first of all, I'm making sure there's no color on my brush. And if you want, you could do a watercolor wash, or just a water wash, which means get the area you're going to color wet, and then go into here, and you can control how dark it is by see how I'm pulling it out. And if I wanted it really watery, I would put a drip of water right here, and then that will, where's my tester? Then that will make, it's still quite bold, but it just gets lighter and lighter as you go. But if you went directly into here and then to color, it's really dark. So however you like is fine. But there's plenty of these for you to test watercoloring on. Okay, so I'm just going to do it solid, heavy, real red. No shading, trying, and it's going to look great even if you don't try to master that shading. But just naturally, there's less and less of the ink on the water brush. So each of my petals are a different color, and I kind of like that. But I think I'm going to go back and add a little bit more color. Oop, I got some of the green ink and pulled it into there. Oops. Okay, and you could see, yeah, you did shading, but I didn't really plan it. I just want it to be red, real red. I kind of like some of them being a little bit different color. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. The berries, I have them in, I'll hold this up close, the real red, really watered down. So see how it's really light pink? So to do that, get some of this by giving the, it says on the side, push. So I'm going to do that to get some of the color out of the tip, the bristles, the paint brush, the brush, and then pick up just a little bit of color here, and that's what I'll do for the berries. Starting out darker than I planned, but that's okay. Now it's getting to the real soft color. Okay, so that's done. So now I'm going to get the red out of here. Maybe. There it goes. Okay, and I'm going to go on to the green leaf. There's one leaf here. I'm going to do that in Shaded Spruce, full strength. And then to do the leaves, this little leaf right here, that's just watered down Shaded Spruce. So, get some of the color off of there. Now it's watered down. And when you color on the inside, if you color on the inside, it's a bit different than coloring on watercolor paper. Because on the inside is basic white regular cardstock, and this is designed for watercoloring. So it's just a little bit, it acts a little bit different. Okay, so I think that's all the watercoloring for right now. I'll set this off to the side because you never know. Okay. So it's going to take just a minute to dry, and it will go right on here. So while that's drying, let's work on the inside. Oh, and you know, we can stamp, well, you know, I want to do the words cheer. I have that here. So how about here? This one I'll do the word Christmas, Christmas cheer. And you know, I know a lot of people, they have Christmas. They like to say Merry Christmas and not Christmas cheer. So I kind of feel like I'm tiptoeing around this. Or they don't like Happy Holidays. So I hope this, I guess if you're watching it, you like the set, so it's okay. So Versamark, I stamped the word Christmas, and I'm going to put this into white embossing powder. Okay, now I'll end up cutting it out quite small, so I'm not worried about the little freckles down there. Okay, so to cut that out, you could use a paper cutter if you want, but because it's so small, I think I can get away with this. Christmas cheer. Okay, so for the inside, how about if we put Christmas cheer, sending you, no, that's a repeat. How about season's greetings? And then on the inside, how about this little holly leaf? And it looks like it's two-step stamping. So if you're stamping in this other than embossing powder, you could use this little leaf to fill in these. But I want to use the black powder and Versamark. So I have a bit of a plan here. Okay, here's Season's Greetings. And this little holly. I might have just gone over the word Season's Greetings, but that's okay. Some of my holly might be overlapping a bit too, but I'm okay with that too. And you know what, in the stamp there's these little 3 red dots, and I think they're berries that kind of work with this, but I think we'll bypass on it today and use these cute little flowers. Okay, so this I'm going to heat from the underside. If you see any, when you're embossing, if you see any of the little freckles, try to make them gone before you heat it. Otherwise they'll be permanently cooked onto there. I'm looking to see if there's any more of the powder, and I think that's fine. That turned out good. I like that holly. Okay, so I'm going to color this in with my aqua painter and the spruce drip of ink. There it is. Okay, so that will go on here. And when you do heat embossing, it makes the paper kind of curl up a little bit. When you do aqua painter, it makes it curl up a little bit. So yeah, it is a curly paper. So I'm going to use regular tape runner and liquid glue. And I'll have to do that on the watercolor paper too. And I'm sure, Lori, you always send me messages with whenever I have a problem, you have an answer. So for all kinds of things. Anyone, let me know if you have ideas on what's going on with the black granule powder. Not liking that. I like how it ends up. I like how shiny it is. And tips on attaching. I bet you if I use tear tape, that probably would hold it really well. But this does work. It's just an extra step. Doesn't that look nice? Okay. So right now, it's being held in place with tape runner, and the edges are sticking down with liquid glue. Kanye, you always mention that I do that, and I didn't know what you're talking about, but I just did it again. Okay, so that's another thing. When I was sticking down the white inside, I noticed I smeared a little bit of the green ink, so I guess it wasn't dry yet. So just beware of that. Yeah. Okay, so this will go inside. Oh, I like how that looks. I like shaded spruce though. Okay, inside done. So let's go back to the outside. So here's Christmas. I think I'll put that here. Christmas cheer. Let's build this thing. We'll let the top have another minute to dry. Okay, so to put the words on, the words are right here. To put the words on, I'll do liquid glue. The first time I did it, I just thought, well, the glue will dry clear. So I put a little bit like this. But then later, I kind of missed the mark on the E's. So it might be better to do it this way. But it dries clear, so I don't know if you could go wrong. Use my little snips to help position that while it's still in the wet glue. Still early. I have caffeine from morning coffee visiting my hands. So I'm thinking about ribbon. I know I want to use the natural gold. This one right here. It is fine art ribbon. I love this stuff. So somehow I want to use this. Oh, you know, while I have the glue out, I probably should make these little things. Well, you know what? At least I'll make the flowers, because the flowers are 2 layers, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put the leaves. I love those leaves. The leaves and the metallic sprigs. But for right now, I'll make the flowers, because I do know about that. They're so tiny. They're so cute. Okay, so those are going to go inside. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have a plan here. So I want the cheer right here. So this one's a little simpler. And I want this right in the middle, right there. Christmas cheer. And somehow I want to use this. I think a knot down below would be okay. But what about that's kind of pretty. Or what about it going ziggle-zaggle? Well, I know for sure if it's not going to go down here. Okay, a bit of a plan here. Adhesive. So it might be going right straight on top of that, but maybe not. Let me try ziggle-zaggle. Who said that the other day at class? What do you think? That one's too short right there. I feel it. This is going to be the best one. Ziggle, zaggle. It's not quite ribbon ruching. Okay, let's see. How's that look? Oh, I kind of like that. It's artsy fartsy. Okay, there it is. Oh, how am I going to stick the words down? Probably pull out my ribbon scissors. Okay, that's good. Okay, so Christmas is going to go on with dimensionals. That's easy. I don't know how I'm going to stick on the words on top of the ribbon. Whose idea was that? And I'm putting it because I kind of don't like how that ended up right there, so I'm purposely covering up that. I like the corner of it being in the light leaves because that shows up. Okay, so this is going to stick on here. So I guess there's some areas that it could stick just fine. Oh, I have the adhesive showing through there. Not good. Okay. So, some dimensionals. I'm thinking underneath the C, underneath the part of the H. That just might be enough to hold it on. Wherever it will stick to paper. Okay. Half a dimensional, half a mini dimensional. Okay, and then the E, maybe I could get a whole one. Yeah, half. Okay, right up here. Oh, this be on the other part of it. Okay, right there. And down here on the R. Okay, so those dimensionals probably could hold it on, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to put glue, and this will soak into the ribbon, and that will definitely hold it on. So everywhere that there's not a dimensional, you know, ziggle zaggle might not be the best way to go, but that's where things are right now. And it looks darn good. Oh, and how did I get ink everywhere? Well, that happens. Sounds like Tony's home. Dog is going to bark. Okay, so now this, well, maybe it's, oh, I'm going to put the blue gems on here. Okay, so this I'm going to put on with liquid glue, because see how curvy it is? Now watch for your comments on a better way to stick things. Boy, I really muddied up the front. Well, okay, and I'm going to keep sticking this down. Like keep pushing it. Okay, so the blue gems definitely need one right there. So I will put 3 of these on. And the blue gems, they have a bit of a metallic-y color, gold. So that's going to work out well with the gold ribbon. So 3 gems. It's really messy down here. 1, 2, 3. I'll put a big one right here. Okay, that looks good. So for the inside, I'll decorate it with these little bits. So maybe one here. That looks good in the holly. Maybe one down here. I know, Bo, I don't know where he is. He'll be coming. You have to wait. I know, you have to wait. Okay. Or maybe they should go over here. Oh, I like them in the holly. I'm going to tuck that one right under here. I don't know, I wonder if this holly is going to conflict with, maybe I'll put one right there, right in the middle. Oh, that's cute. I don't know. It's hard to go wrong when it's so cute like that. I know, Bo, you have to wait. I don't know where he is. I know, I know. He's sitting behind me on the mat, and he knows that when he sits there and he smiles, he gets his way. So he's sitting on the mat. I know, Bo. Okay, almost done. Almost done. Okay, so there is a project. I will put all the papers used, all the cut sizes on my blog, which is JilliBling.com. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great day.